I think looks maxing is wasted on really, really hot people. There is a certain level of hotness where if you have impeccable style and fashion, then it becomes too much. It's almost like staring a little too closely at the sun. Everything is too symmetrical, everything's too on point, and you become unbearable, almost like an alien, unattainable, and I wouldn't say necessarily unattractive, but just completely unrelatable to us mere mortals. You know, when you go to the barbers and you flick through that little booklet at the front of the store where you can pick which haircut you want from like number 1 to 100. And all the male models there, they're all fucking square jawed Adonises. And they've got these super cool haircuts. And you know, if you pick, yeah, give me the number 37, it's never going to look as good on your on your head for whatever reason. But those dudes in those catalogs, they're often kind of like a little bit too mumphed up with what they're wearing. Like a stylist has gone a little too hard. And you compare how those guys look, where they have like perfectly fitted jeans, you know, a nice white shirt, a cool leather jacket, some cool boots, aviators on, or whatever it is. Everything's put together and kind of perfect. And then you compare that to like Brad Pitt in the 90s, where he's wearing like a fucking weird mesh uh shirt that belongs on like a fat punk chick. Or I don't know, he's kind of wearing like a weird fucking like a Mongolian rug that makes him look like a mountain man and he hasn't shaved in 3 days. And you're like, I'd take Brad Pitt any day of the week. And it's not just because he's Brad Pitt either. Maybe that's how he ascended to become Brad Pitt, as opposed to the pretty boys in the salon. There was something about his style where he undercut his perfect representation of masculinity with kind of like the dirt in the pearl creates the oyster type of vibe. So I feel like there you can obviously take it too far. Anything that's too like fashion with a capital F becomes ridiculous. But I feel like in general, if you're really hot, your fashion choices don't matter because you kind of like, if anything, you kind of like daring people to find you unattractive. You're like, look at me. I can wear this weird fucking Unabomber. I can wear a fucking Unabomber streetwear style hoodie and um my dad's stubby shorts from the 80s and these skiing boots. But my hair is really nice. Put a bit of product in it. I washed and conditioned it last night. I've got a bit of designer stubble, so I haven't gone completely overboard, but I'm in really good shape and I'm really attractive. So despite these wild fashion choices, I'm still attractive, if you know what I mean. And really, that's what it comes down to is that, like, when you think about it, having good personal fashion or dedicating time to figuring out what colors look good on you, what fits best on you, how to have your facial hair, what length to have your hair. I guess the kind of the grooming stuff falls somewhere in the middle because sometimes even the Brad Pitts and the Johnny Depps of the world, if their haircut gets too wacky, it does kind of ding their hotness. I'm talking about peak Brad Titty and Johnny Depp here, of course. Um, but any type of kind of like looks maxing or doubling down on fashion, in a sense, it's kind of a cope. You're in a sense trying to dress mutton up as lamb. I recently watched the first season of that show alone, which I've kind of yeah, they really stretched it out too long. They could have crammed it into about 6 episodes. I think they tried to do 12 or some shit. But essentially, if you're not familiar, it's like Survivor, except they're all by themselves. They're not in a tribe, and they've just got to sustain themselves. The first season set in Vancouver Island in British Columbia, and there's fucking bears out there, and they've got to try and catch their own fish and food and shit. And the ones that last to the end, they lose a lot of fucking weight, and that shows the proof in the pudding that these two ugly fucking dudes who got to the end. By the end, they look a million times better, just because they'd lost a ton of weight, and it really it basically it kind of there was some fashion designers like the best thing you can do for your fashion is just to look really fucking skinny, to look heroin chic skinny, and then you can wear fucking anything, and you'll be looking pretty good. So it's an interesting thing. It's kind of like, how much time do you have to try and get washboard abs through exercise or diet? And if you don't have the time or the energy, then you kind of should shuffle the your attention across to fashion so that you can become fuckable. But really, it seems like taking care of yourself trumps having a cool, like, wow, he's got a cool set of flared trousers. They're gonna go for the dude who wears ill-fitting trousers but has got a fucking smoking hot rig every moment of every day of every hour. Oh yeah. All right. Let me know what you think. Am I on the money with this one? I could be right. I could be wrong. You bring the rice. I'll bring the gravy. Catch you on the next one. Peace.